really excited about this retreat. And in particular, I'm interested in how this retreat can solve our problems that are coming up in our day, like problems of being angry about people having differing political views or being scared about what might be happening in that arena, or having problems at work and being stressed out. How can this retreat help us with those problems?
Yeah, because it seems that the retreat's on something that's very profound. It's called the Heart Sutra. And this is Buddha's teachings on emptiness. It's one of the most seminal, famous sutras that Buddha taught. And it's about the subject of wisdom. And where he says form is empty, emptiness is form, it's very famous. It's been studied millennia by people and put into practice. And they put it into practice because it can solve problems. It's not an abstract pursuit, learning the true nature of things. It's not an abstract pursuit. The whole purpose of increasing our wisdom is to decrease our ignorance, and in particular, an ignorance which is called self-grasping, where we think everything is very real and very solid, very problematical, that our enemies are really our enemies and our friends are really our friends, where we feel everything is fixed and intractable and largely unsolvable. And this is a situation that many people find themselves in at the moment, as they just have a very strong grasping, whether we're grasping at politics or, like you say, work problems, relationship problems. The biggest problem of all is how we're grasping at things as being inherently problematical, intrinsically terrible. And Buddha's teachings on wisdom show that this is not the case, that everything can change through changing our perceptions. And particularly the Heart Sutra, Buddha really went into great depth as to how we could realize the true nature of things, which is that everything exists in a state of flexibility and fluidity. Why? Because everything actually depends entirely upon our mind. So, yeah, as it got a practical application, very much so, and I think that's why these teachings are still around. So, because they always have helped people with their daily problems. But what do you think?
So that brought to mind the question of gaining the experience of freedom from gaining experience of lack of inherent existence or emptiness. And like with that sense of freedom, for example, like something is neither good or bad. Like the situation is neither good or bad. Like when we're grasping at things being so solid, it's usually grasping at it being really bad, like intrinsically bad, and there's nothing that we can do to change that, which then brings up fear and anger and anxiety.
Very true. I agree. So when we say form is empty, when Buddha says form is empty, he means that the things that appear so real to us are not nearly as real as they appear, that they are empty of intrinsic existence. In other words, they do depend upon our mind, they depend upon our perceptions, upon our interpretations, and so on. And so if we change our mind, we change the situation. And one thing that's interesting about the Heart Sutra is that when Venerable Geshe taught this in Portugal in 2013, he was talking about the perfection of wisdom, which is what the Heart Sutra is, one of Buddha's perfection of wisdom sutras. And the perfection of wisdom is actually a combination of two things. It's a mind, the perfection of wisdom. It's a state of mind, and it's a combination of two things. Compassion, or the supreme good heart, bodhicitta, and wisdom. So one way, because things do depend on how we're looking at them, things do depend upon how we are relating to them, how we're perceiving them. Like you said, a lot of anger comes up, a lot of hatred, a lot of upset, a lot of disappointment, because we're holding on to things in such a fixed way. When we understand that things are not fixed. That by changing our perceptions, we can actually change the world, change our reality. Then we start to think, what would be the best mental attitude to bring to politics, the best mental attitude to bring to work, to relationships? Is it anger? No. Is it fear? No. Is it anxiety? Is it feeling overwhelmed? None of these things work, right? They don't work in politics. They don't work in any area of our life. So what does work? Buddha would say that if we develop a mind of love and compassion and actually care about problems, people's problems, and we want them to be free from those problems, and we cherish others like we put others first, this itself can solve so many of our daily problems. But if you put that compassionate motivation together with wisdom, then you have like a compelling combination. Two minds like rolled into one. The perfection of wisdom that we learn about in the Heart Sutra is the mind of, as I say, great compassion, supreme good heart, mixed with this deep wisdom, understanding the true nature of things. So it literally can solve all our daily problems and indeed all our life problems.